We are at the highway to nowhere. What brings us out here tonight? What's going on this weekend?
Well, it's twofold. So the highway to nowhere was constructed over 50 years ago. So it's a 50-year-old story. And highways were done in a lot of black neighborhoods across the country. So the city of Baltimore applied for the Reconnecting Communities grant, and I wanted to find a way to engage the community around the conversation of reimagining West Baltimore and adding an economic piece. My intentional work is to raise the vibration of West Baltimore culturally, but at the same time, try to add new knowledge to what economics means in building culture and rebuilding community.
I mean, I can only imagine what these walls have seen, who's been here. It is a beautiful, beautiful location.
Thank you.
And I'm sad I've lived here my whole entire life, never been over this area, and the group that's here right now. You guys are talking about some great things. What were you guys talking about earlier today about that little group you guys had over there?
So we were sharing stories about this community, and specifically the highway to nowhere, which is in between Mulberry and Franklin Street. And if you know anything about that, that's where the red line was supposed to be built, but was kiboshed by our governor. And so people were displaced, and homes were torn down for what essentially became nothing but a highway to nowhere, which is why it's got its names.
Looking around me, and I just see what I could tell had been a beautiful neighborhood with the townhouses and the stoops and just the Baltimore. It just felt so Baltimore, like how my mother, like the neighborhood where my mother grew up. And I just felt disconnected, and I just felt kind of guilty driving through every day, right today, just through. And then I met somebody who lives there now, next to the highway, so it really touched my heart.
Tell us about the sculpture, and what does it mean to you?
Oh, the sculpture is a collaboration and a culmination of 4 years of work, 4 years of interviews, 4 years of community engagement, interaction with organizations, people, groups. And so we were able to glean from them the information that built the sculpture, that showed the components of it. We have ideas, we have actions, we have infrastructure, all kinds of things that go into community, culture, and the reflection of how to build that economic base of progress and sustainability.
The sculpture, one of the cool things about it is it's in a pool of water that is as deep as the sculpture is tall. So history is really featured in this, right? And it's a 30-foot tall virtual sculpture. So anyway, all those ideas tied directly to the economic development plan, but the visuals for them were co-created with these community leaders.
If people were just to stay within the boundaries of rationality, then they would never change their circumstance. Artscape is about the imagination.
Why is this project so important with reimagining Rouse, with the sculpture that's going to be out here and being out at the highway nowhere? Why is that such an important thing for this group today?
That is such an important thing because what it does is the element of this beautiful structure, of this statue, over a 4-year period was conceived. And each element of the statue depicts some form of life form in Old West Baltimore. And it is constantly moving in an upward fashion. So we think that this sculpture, if given the funding and placed in a proper place that is probably considered the worst of the worst and bad negative places, I think is an inspirational, arousing tool of what can happen in this city.
We measure our activities in impact, effectiveness, not numbers. So to have everyone that was here today, by the numbers that were here, but they were all engaged. They weren't on their phones. They weren't slipping off to somewhere else. They were all engaged and participating in the conversation, in the dialogue, in the exchange. It's about culture. It's about how we want to represent and show up in a space. That is a cultural dynamic. That is how you spend your money. That is how you invest your money, how you partner on money costs. So that culture and economics piece is huge, and that's what we're trying to highlight and bring to the forefront, is that culture is economics.
I think the imagination so far is 2 billion. I think the highway to nowhere, its economic asset potential is 10 billion. I see there's a reason why they try to do it to begin with. It's because they recognize that from a logistic standpoint, it is the most significant logistics hub in the Northeast. I will go this far and say Baltimore will never achieve its modern dynamic promise until, the MART station and the highway to nowhere is converted into a place of neighborhoods of human flourishing.
So as far as getting in contact with us, we are attached to, if you look up EEGLP, Baltimore, it's going to come right up.